What's today's date?
19.
Alright, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I know you don't have a lot of time too, so we could take like half hour if that's okay. Or
Okay, yeah. I just I had when we set up this appointment, a large special order came in since then, so I'm working on it. I've got to come back, and this is sort of my sleep time. So.
Actually, do you want us to come back another day? Because I want you to be able to get some sleep.
No. I mean,
Okay.
we might as well.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's not. It's just life. Okay, so
everybody likes your food.
My dog fell in love with you.
Really?
That Grisball, and he's sort of aloof, but he really loved you.
They're both such nice dogs.
Yeah.
Like we went to this one woman's house, and her dog went through our pockets and like took all our stuff. It stole my lotion. I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
I had a print card with $10 and he chewed it up. I was like, wow,
Oh no.
Alright, so we're ready to begin a few.
Okay.
You guys.
Can you tell me your names again?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I'm Milan.
And I'm Patson.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just wanted to thank you for taking time out to do this for us. Like it's really helpful. So can you start just by saying your name and occupation?
Okay. My name is StephanieShipley, and I am the proprietor, owner, I guess, head baker, chef of Amaranth Bakery, which is located near my home, if that's relevant to this interview. Yeah, so that's...
Alright, so how long have you lived in Milwaukee?
I've lived in Milwaukee, let's see here. I don't know, probably around 19 years, 20 years.
Have you lived in the Washington Park area?
No, I was a community organizer just in the neighborhood just south of here. And so became very familiar with the West Side in general. And that's where I met David also. We were both community organizers. Yeah, so that's what I just sort of gravitated to this area.
Yes, being a community organizer, what do you view as important in instilling the stability of a community?
Well, I think that that's a really complicated question.
Or what aspects do you see as most as important? I'm sorry.
No, I think having families together in their home. I think having places where people gather and know one another. I think having accessible economic opportunities, whether they're jobs or accessible entrepreneurial opportunities. I think I don't know, I can't think very I'm sorry, I'm not very articulate right now. As a community organizer, I worked mostly with children, So it was more just, I guess what I really wanted for the children was not just to have, educational opportunities and recreational opportunities, but to just be able to create a history, have really good memories of interactions in their neighborhoods, and just really feel like they were known and seen and valuable. I don't know.
I think that's a good answer. I think that's great. Would you describe your community as having just those aspects, or were there things you like to change or see changes made?
I see this community as really fractured. There are elements that come together at times, but it's a real ebb and flow. There hasn't been a lot of political leadership or just communal leadership. People are doing their thing for their, there are not a lot of nonprofits in the area, and they're doing their thing for their cause, but there isn't a lot of holistic thought that brings sort of everyone in. There's a lot of, inorganic or, sort of artificial programming that's sort of imposed, and then when people don't participate, they're sort of blamed for the community for not participating, and I feel like a lot of people are isolated in this community right now, and I don't know. But if you walk down my street, you'll see like almost every house on my street is occupied by a large family, and all the kids play together and organize games in the vacant lots, and you hear at least 3 different languages, and yet all the kids are fighting and having fun and goofing off and being angry and being nice, and just it's everything. So I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. I just have experiences. I don't know. I don't have any answers.
I think that's good. So just to tie in with experience, I guess, what are some experiences within your house that you?
Yeah, I guess I just I'm a person who really is really conscious of the space that I do things in, and I just totally fell in love with that house, and just and it's just been a real pleasure to live there, and just a real privilege to care for that home. It feels like a living being that I'm a caretaker of temporarily. And it's just saturated with history and it's where I've learned to really care for my family, myself, other people. We've always had tenants, and it's where I learned to garden. It's where I learned to do wallpaper. Yeah, I don't know. It's just been like one lesson after another on how to care for your world around you, and that house is just like exploding with that. So I don't know.
being a person that really cares about their space, how would you describe the spaces that are yours and how have you impacted them with your own personality?
Well, it's always in some sort of dialectic with my significant other. So when I moved in there, he's sort of color challenged, and or at least that was my opinion. So one thing I needed was a lot of color, and just opening up spaces. We did a lot of because it had been like a halfway house and all these different things. So it's just like it was a constant layering of closing down the space. So we did a lot of opening it up, opening all the gardens that are now sort of I don't have time to do as much with. I did most of that. I mean, we did it together, but aesthetically, I had a big influence on the layout and design of the garden. And, but it's always been sort of my sort of more extravagant aesthetic has been sort of tamped down by my husband's more pragmatic style. So, yeah, that's. And kitchen space. I have a large kitchen in the basement, and that's where I started to learn to bake, and that's where the bakery was germinated in that house. So, yeah. Was that an answer?
Yeah, I just didn't want to interrupt. I was gonna ask you, and you kind of touched upon it. What made you want to begin baking?
Well, I bought this building first because it needed to be bought. It was a real problem. And I had the opportunity to just come in and buy it. And then David and I was sort of burnt out with nonprofit work, and I went into the for-profit. I was a technical writer and marketer and all that, and didn't like that either. And David and I wanted to do a project together, and at the same time I was just learning about natural fermentation and sourdough cultures, and I was just experimenting, and it's just sort of worked. And we thought, well, food is really important, and there's a lot of options. I think that's one thing that I hope that this place gives, is that people have choices, in food experience. And I just sort of wanted to expand on that idea, like my love of sort of food and adventure, and to try new things. I wanted that to translate somehow I didn't want that to be only for a certain segment of the population. I wanted everyone to have a chance. So I thought, well, maybe I can do that. And so it's a continuous work in progress, and a give and take, and failures and successes and all that. So, was that the question? Did I answer that? Okay. Sorry.
I guess, not that I want to move away from it, but one space that really stuck out to me where you lived was the cupola at the top.
Oh, yeah.
So how would you describe just the space and how you use it?
Yeah. When I first moved into the house, we painted that together, and then it was really brightly colored. It was all different kinds of designs, and then we used to go up there and watch storms. And originally David had set up a little office for me up there. He proposed to me up there. And, but it's a difficult place to be for long periods of time because it's either really, really super hot or really, really super cold, because that is a big part of the ventilation of the whole house. That's really an important structural part of the house. And so all the it's a place where we used to have this cat that we found in the neighborhood as a little tiny kitten. Actually, the kids in the neighborhood found him. Anyway, so he loved to be up there. So whenever we would lose him in the house, we would always go up there, and then he would be there. And so that's what I think of when I think of the cupola. But yeah, that's why there are tons of books up there still. And I love to draw, and I used to sit up there and draw, but I don't have time to be up there anymore. But we still, when there's a really good storm, we'll go up there and we'll watch fireworks up there. And yeah, it's just not the most comfortable place. It's sort of an odd place. But you can definitely see a lot of the city from there. It's surprising. Okay.
Just one more question. I was just wondering if your nonprofit work, I guess how it has shaped your role within like helping your community where you live.
I think so that was my first job out of college, and I think that it really made me think constantly about a wider vision, I think. And so I carried that into this endeavor, which can be very, because I have so much to do, I can get really consumed by it and not think about the wider context. But I've always, because of that experience, it just, and I carry that, it'll pull me out, and I'll realize that it's not the most important thing, that we be here. What's more important is that we're in constant communication with other people and what other people are doing, and that we're affected by the community, not just, a very, we're sort of malleable. I think that's made us a more sustainable business too. So, and can weather a lot of obstacles, because it's been difficult. So yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense at all. I have been up since 2 o'clock, so I'm fading a little bit on you. I'm sorry.
Do you have any questions, Jackson? All right. We just wanted to thank you a lot for taking out your time to do this for us. Like, it's really helpful.
Well, you guys have been great. It's been such great energy, and I really appreciate your interest and your enthusiasm. It's really been a blessing, I have to tell you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us or no?
Not right now, but I think you're interviewing my husband this afternoon. So.
All right. Thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Sure.